Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a while since I made a video. Well, the last one it was a smartphone cinematography type, and I've used my Nokia 6.1 2018 edition as my main camera for the last time because right now I have already purchased enough gear and enough lenses so I can rig my Canon EOS M, on which I'm shooting right now, of course. And in this video I just want to demonstrate how I shot how I made those shots. It wasn't easy. I'm gonna say it from the beginning, because this smartphone is not particularly a top quality one. It is a budget version of a Nokia's line, and this guy. So far, I managed to get a pretty decent quality cinema-like quality video out of it. Even thought that it's only has 1 by 3 inch sensor. This is very, very small one. It's actually basically half of your fingernail, basically cut in half, and that's it. So something get from this camera in that quality is nothing short than a miracle. Basically, I've edited it heavily on my PC, and I managed to get something out of this. But I'm thankful to Nokia that this was my last smartphone that I've used as my main camera. And well, for starters, let's check out what kind of gear I used to get all this quality. Well, first, you cannot take and shoot videos like this, because basically you get more jitter and this kind of twitchy camera, kind of Cloverfield Monstro kind of film vibe going on, and we need something more steady and something more professional. So basically, I've went and bought this rig. This is a B-Script clone kind of thing. It's a Chinese knockoff, but it's pretty good actually. It did a wonderful job for me. I've took my smartphone just like this and put it in. Then I aligned the camera onto this, onto this port right here, lens adapter, just like that. Boom, like this. Fix this like that, and here you go. You have more of a stable quality, right now. In terms of an audio, I have went out and bought again on a budget, this cheapo $7 shotgun mic. There's nothing special, but it can do some pretty amazing things if you know how to use it. Basically, I've used a selfie stick which I borrowed from my wife, and I've attached this onto a selfie stick on a 1/4 inch thread nut, and I've used an extender cable like this and a special adapter cable for a smartphone, and to get a close-up shot, but a mic, like this mic is not that powerful, so this cannot pick up sounds as nearly as good as a Rode video mic does, for example. So the workaround this was the selfie stick, an extender cable, an adapter cable, and you get close to your subject while out of the frame, and boom, get some pretty interesting shot. But if you want to, just a decent one, just a regular video, whatnot, and just running and gunning like that, just can't do this. attach it to your smartphone. Where is it? Here we go. Just put this over here like that. Oops, it went out. There we go. That's it. Now, the problem, the another problem that emerges is a field of view. Unfortunately, I'm basically heavily on the budget, and well, I cannot afford, for example, a Moment's, anamorphic lens or whatnot. So I went with this. This is a wide-angle lens, nothing special, really cheap one. This is a combo of a wide-angle and a macro lens like this. You screw this, you get a macro. You screw this on top, and you get a wide-angle, basically like this. Just screw it on top. Right there. This is for indoor shots. If you want to do something like shooting indoors, and you want to get as much of a view of of that particular room or something. Basically, you get this effect with this lens. Plus, it has a 52-inch thread, and you can adapt like polarized lenses, or for example an ND filters. By the way, about the ND filters, while I was shooting outside, oops, this thing is unscrewed first. Well, while I was shooting outside, of course, shooting outside with a 1/50th of a shutter speed basically makes everything overexposed, because, well, you cannot control the f-stop on this because it's basically fixed. And I went with another trickery. I didn't had a adapter from 37 millimeter to 40.5. So I bought this 40.5 millimeter ND filter and polarized filter, and I screw this on top on one another. Made this kind of cluster, and I used a double-sided tape and glued this on top of that. Like, it still has a residue left on it, and basically this is how I got all those dynamic range and the steady shutter speed of 1/50th and at 24 frames per second. Basically, well, the stabilization, I've used another post-processing to stabilize it in post, of course. And basically this is how I get my videos done on a smartphone. I also, if I want to use something like shoot something on a distance, I've also bought this cheap lens, which is kind of like a 50 millimeter or 58 millimeter type of thing going on. You screw this on that, you just focus it like this, and basically you get this kind of zoomed in look, and it's actually a pretty good effect. You get your background defocused while you're focused on the subject that you're shooting, and it's a pretty good, decent lens. So this is basically it with a kit that I'm using to shoot smartphone cinematography and smartphone videos or whatnot. And next one will be the software that I'm using. Well, let's switch to the software. So here we are with the software portion of the video. Let's go to Open Camera. This is the software that I'm using to shoot cinematic videos. By itself, camera is not suitable for cinematography or whatnot. It's your basic camera, UI. Just you tap and focus like this. No, you cannot use it. Plus the color tones are not are not pretty good enough, because you can see that the details and the shadows are pretty much lost when you're exposed onto an outside sky or something. Basically, we need something more, how should I say it? Something more flat. Let's go to the settings and let's go and activate camera to API. Let's go like this. And go to the settings again. Come on. Come on. Oh, this screen recorder always screws around. Well, let's go to the video portion, and we need to choose a video format from H.264 to HEVC. This is better compression. Trust me, it's gonna save you a lot of space. Then we need a video stabilization on, because will move around and run around, and basically this thing doesn't have a optical image stabilization, so we need that. Then the bitrate. On the default, this will be set on 9 megabits per second. We need to increase that till 60 megabits per second. This is pretty much normal to get most out of your camera. And we need a frame rate to get cinematic shot. We need 24 frames per second. And here we go, the video flat log profile. This is set on off on default. You have to go there and set it on fine, on low, or medium. You don't want to exceed that strong or extra strong, because basically strong and extra strong will pull up more details in the shadows, but also it will introduce you a noise. This is terrible. So we have to go with the medium then. But during a low light condition, in low light, you want to go with fine, because well, no, fine, because fine in low light will give you much more cleaner image. But right now it's a daylight, and we're gonna use a medium like this, and we're gonna go down to the record audio and audio source. And right now it's set on microphone to use recording audio, camcorder. Nope, we're gonna go and use uncompressed. This is gonna get us better audio quality. Well, not as good as DSLR, but well, closer to that. Then audio channels, we want to use a stereo, because this phone has two microphones. We're gonna use that, and we're gonna go from there to processing settings, and we're gonna anti-banding. We're gonna set this to off, because it's gonna you know it's gonna how should I say it? Smartphone algorithms are not always accurate in terms of anti-banding, so we will set it to off. And edge mode algorithm is set on default, but we need to set it on off. And a noise reduction during the daylight, we need to set it on off as well, because it will soften the image too much. And here we go. Let's see what kind of image we will get. See? This is instantly get us a flatter look. You see those shadows over there? It's much more visible right now. Right now, we're gonna, go to the settings over here and shoot this into on a 100 ISO setting. And the shutter speed we're gonna set at 1/50th of a shutter speed. Here we go. And see, the motion blur is kind of like cinematic. It's 24 frames per second. And in terms of this overexposed stuff, watch. We're our gonna take our lens, this ND filter, polarize filter and attach it briefly onto that. You see that this is already in a it's already set in a good way. Oh, really hard to hold with just one hand. There we go. And can use a 200 ISO setting. And here we go. You get this kind of cinematic look, you know, to edit and post and get most out of it. Yeah, as you rotate that, you get this, polarization going on. Sky goes darker, as you can see, light, darker, just like that. And this is a focusing ring, which you can use to focus just like that. Basically, when I'm shooting outside, I'm using basically an infinity focus. And when I'm shooting indoors, I'm trying to focus on something to get this kind of bokeh. There we go. Yeah. Basically, that's it. This is how I shot my videos on the smartphone. Well, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.